OpenAI seeks $90 billion in valuation in a possible share sale. Microsoft is trying to reduce its reliance on OpenAI by developing a cheaper, less powerful AI, a report says. The UK has quietly dismissed an independent AI advisory board, alarming the tech sector, and you can't upgrade to Windows 10 for free anymore. This is Geek News Central. My name is Todd Cochran. I want to welcome you to episode 1695 of the Geek News Central podcast for Thursday, September 28th. This show is sponsored in part by GoDaddy.com and supported by listeners just like you. Great deals from GoDaddy can be found at geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. You can support this show today at geeknewscentral.com/insider with your $2, $5, $10, $15, $20, or $25 a month monthly donations, or a single donation via the insider page. We are lit and live with apps from podcastapps.com. Join the value for value revolution. Earn Satoshi just by switching to a new modern podcast app. Hey, I want to give a warm welcome to all the brand new listeners. Make sure you get over to geeknewscentral.com. Follow or subscribe to the podcast while you're over there. Sign up for our newsletter as well. Of course, you can join our chat room. Our chat room is available at geeknews.chat for integrating with our social interact solution. You can always contact me very simply via email, geeknews@gmail.com, or at geeknews on X. You can always follow me on Facebook as well, just by searching for your name or my name. Always look for our partner shows at geeknewscentral.com. That includes the new media show with myself and Mr. Rob Greenlee, the Gadget Professor with Mr. Don Bain, who is still in Europe, the GNC Week in Review with our, our executive producer, Kirk, and his co-host, Scott. So make sure you check all those shows out. Definitely appreciate it when you do. Follow and subscribe to those shows as well. Of course, this show is supported largely by our good friends at GoDaddy. And you can save here. This is where savings begin. This is the longest running continuous sponsor of a podcast. That's GoDaddy. They've been with us since June of 2005. So there must be something here for you to check out. And all you got to do is go over to geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. Again, this is where savings begin. Start here. This is your first spot. Get a domain, brand new domain for a penny, just a penny. A penny for a brand new .com, or $1.99 a month economy hosting for the first year with a free domain. $1.99 a month economy hosting for the first year with a free domain. That's less than $24. All right, definitely check that out. Or $2.99 a month to manage WordPress hosting for the first year, again with a free domain. $2.99. I like this one the best. That manage WordPress hosting, they back it up, they take care of it for you. $2.99 a month for the first year with a free domain. WordPress is what is running on Geek News Central. It's what I recommend to all my friends. Definitely, though, you can always try their free trial of GoDaddy Website Builder. Your choice of personal business or business plus plans. But I did see a site today. Make sure you turn off the little header. There's the ability to have a header on there. That you don't have to have that header on there promoting any company or service. Turn that little header off. Again, get a free trial of GoDaddy Website Builder, your choice of personal business or business plus plans. That's a 1 month free trial. And we want to thank GoDaddy for being, again, supporting this show for such a long time, coming in every month. You guys make it possible. You make it possible because you keep this team, this small independent team, employed. You're supporting a small group, very small group of independent content creators by using one of the promo codes. Plus, keeps the lights on, keeps electricity paid, keeps the gas bill done, keeps the insurance done. So your support keeps this operation going. I'd hate to have to do it out of a closet somewhere. So let's pick up your mouse or pick up your mobile phone and go over to geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. It's time to lock in some savings. I want to thank GoDaddy for being a longtime sponsor here of the Geek News Central podcast. So hope everyone's doing well. So this has been by far, I would consider the most busy week I've had. Every week's busy, but this week has just been full, absolutely jam full. And next week is going to get better. But, and part of it is I'm preparing for the podcast awards. So this afternoon, I took time off of work and worked for about 5 hours straight, prepping some stuff for the podcast awards that goes on Saturday at 6 p.m. Eastern. So I have more work to do tomorrow. So I'm actually going to do my morning meeting with the team and then right into prepping for the podcast awards for Saturday. There's about 10 hours that I have to do in prep work to get ready for the award show. And it gets pretty busy. It really, really does. But also, I don't know if you guys can see, those of you who are watching, starting to have a little stubble. I've started No Shave November early. I'm starting it in September. It's getting chilly here, so it's time to put the hair back on the face to see how that goes. It's pretty little ugly, scratchy right now, but that's kind of the way it started before, and we'll keep it going. But anyway, just getting busy. I did book the airline tickets to go see my daughter, so that is locked in now. I've got and tell you, I screwed up. I waited a day, and everything went up. So I had to shift a little bit. So now I fly out on the 12th of October, and I'll be there for a while starting on the 12th. Now, looking at the calendar, with us having 5 to go before, or 4 to go after tonight, before the, so I'm looking at the calendar here. So the 28th, and then next week will be, so it probably will be after I get back before we celebrate episode 1700, because there's just 3 episodes unless I do one there. Actually, yeah, it'll be back. It'll be sometime the week of the 16th where so not too bad. The 9th, we'll definitely do the show on the 9th. That's the actual official 19-year anniversary. And then we'll come in on 1700 about a week later. So that works pretty good. Hope you're all doing well. Got a lot of content to get into tonight. There's the motherlode that Kirk dug through when he was show prepping. So how you guys been thinking? By the way, feedback on the show notes. Do you even look at the show notes? What do you think of the album art? Feedback on the album art. What do you think of the album art? If you're using Apple Podcasts, now you can see the album art in the app. I did do I did upgrade my phone last night, and I should look here because I haven't even looked at it. The library, shows. Let me go over to Geek News. Oh, that wrong feed. Geek News Central. Let's look at that. And we'll go and click on the Chat GPT one. How come the album art is not there? I'm a little, okay, why is the album art not showing up? I need to look at this. I need to investigate what's going on. Should be there. All right, anyway, let's go ahead and get into the tech. That's going to immediately make me angry. Also, for the podcast awards, we're going to be streaming it live on some of these newfangled podcast apps at podcastapps.com. So there's a brand new podcast called the Podcast Awards Show. So I'm going to be doing some fun with that in the coming year as well. Let's talk about OpenAI seeking $90 billion valuation, a possible share sale. They are just, they're this is a big number, $90 billion. They're talking to investors, and the sale would value the startup at $80 to $90 billion. That'd be almost 3 times what the company was valued at early this year. The news comes as OpenAI is gaining momentum in the AI space. We know that. Just under a year with ChatGPT 3.5 coming in 2022, November 22. So it's going to be very interesting to see here. The potential share sale would be a major milestone, which was founded in 2015. The company has since transitioned for a for-profit model. The $80 billion to $90 billion valuation make OpenAI one of the most valuable. Implications really is a share sale would be provide the company with some amount of cash. It also give OpenAI more autonomy and flexibility to pursue its own goals. And a share sale would be a sign of the growing maturity. It also send a signal to other investors that AI is a worthwhile investment. So we will see. We'll see where this leads. At the same time, Microsoft is trying to reduce its reliance on OpenAI by developing a cheaper, less powerful AI model. It wants to break its reliance on OpenAI, and the decision largely motivated by the cost of running advanced AI models per the report. It's expensive. The information reported by Microsoft is trying to reduce its reliance. And again, the spiraling costs of running advanced models. One current employee and another ex-worker recently left the company, said the executive oversees 1,500 researchers. Microsoft is some to develop an in-house one. The company wants an in-house large language models to be cheaper and smaller, even if it means they don't perform as well. Product teams are already working to do this in-house. They're trying to reduce, make more smaller. And this is what's going to happen. It's going to make smaller models that do specific things. And this is what we're going to see a lot of. A model for this, a model for that, a model for this and that and that. That's what's going to kind of happen here as we go forward. And this does not surprise me in the least. But at the same time, the UK has dismissed an independent AI advisory board, alarming the tech center. And so what is this all about? They quietly dismissed the CDEI, the Center for Data Ethics and Innovation, tasked with the promoting the responsible deployment of data and AI technologies. The board's webpage was shut down on September 9th, but a rather uninformed public announcement was released only yesterday. It reported that the government updated the page in such a way that it wouldn't send email alerts to those subscribed to the topics. And again, this has been an advisory board that's been in place since 2018. And since its launch, the center has been offering practice guidelines to organizations across both the private and public sector. A former member of the board anonymously told Recorded Future, that's a news outlet, that the government's attitude towards the body changed following the rotation of 4 different prime ministers and 7 secretaries of state since the board's launched. So the CDEI official explained that there was no political will to incorporate the center's work into the public center. The logarithmic transparency standard wasn't widely adopted and wasn't promoted in the AI white paper. So, reacting to news, tech business founders across the U.S. expressed worries about transparency and trust in the government in this new era of quote-unquote accountability. At the same time, they've released this online safety bill that is really raising havoc and is going to cause probably some trouble for Rumble. But they've started their own dealio. So things are up in arms in the UK. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. As announced, you cannot upgrade to Windows 10 for free anymore. But here's the catch. Microsoft has closed one of the loopholes allowing those with older PCs from freely upgrading to Windows 10 and 11. If you own a Windows 7 or Windows 8 PC, you'll need to buy a new license to upgrade to either Microsoft's most recent operating systems. Microsoft free upgrade offer Windows 10 11 ended July 29th. A Microsoft blog post now states dating back to September 20th and unearthed by Windows Central. The installation path to attain Windows 7 8 free upgrade is now removed as well. Upgrades to Windows 11 from Windows 10 is still free. At one time, Microsoft, a whole year, 1 year after Windows 10 launched, for Windows 7 8 users tapped their existing Windows license as a free entry ticket. What Microsoft never said that Windows 7 8 transition was never actually closed until they closed it. In a way, this makes sense. At one time, the transition to Windows 7 8 to Windows 10 was seamless, but now, because Windows puts hardware restrictions on Windows 11, you really can't make that jump oftentimes. So it's kind of a catch-22. You want Windows 11, you're going to have to upgrade your computer. There's a report that Johnny Ive, an OpenAI CEO, has raised $1 billion to design the iPhone of AI. SoftBank CEO and founder Masayoshi Son allegedly put up the money, as well as pitch involvement from Japanese chipmark or ARM. Financial Times reported the development, claiming that Ivy and Altman had brainstormed sessions at the former San Francisco studio about what a consumer piece of hardware would look like. According to Outlet, the duo are looking to create a device that provides a more natural, intuitive way to interact with AI. The idea is to take a ground-up approach to redesigning a smartphone in the same way that Ivy did the touchscreen many years ago. So the plan is to make the iPhone of artificial intelligence. So interesting. Now, while it's not clear what the end goal is, anytime Ivy's involved, it could be very exciting. Now, it doesn't sound like they're necessarily reinventing the iPhone. It's calling the device the iPhone of artificial intelligence. Could simply be a goal to reinvent the smartphone with the AI, much the way iPhone reinvented the cell phone with a touchscreen. So we'll see where these guys, but they got $1 billion with a B. That's a big check. Reddit will now force ads on everyone as the site becomes increasingly monetized. They have to make money. An official post from the head of privacy at Reddit detailed the social media site's upcoming plans for how advertisers can track users' activity, engage, and change the privacy settings. The short of it is that users will no longer be able to choose whether Reddit advertisers track you based on the site activity. In fact, comparing the handy before and after screenshot the post provided, you can see that most privacy settings have been gutted, including personalize all of Reddit based on the outbound links you click on, based on your Reddit activity and account info, based on your general location, and ads recommendation based on your activity with partners. So you need to start thinking about a new browser, because these companies are desperate to make money. They got to make money. So this is just a sign of the times of what companies are having to do, of having to raise money. Services cost a lot right now. It's very, very expensive costs are going up across the board. You should see my AWS bill. It's insane. By the way, AI analyzed my podcast pacing, and it determined every place that there was a big gap where I took a hit of Red Bull. Kind of funny, isn't it? The new Fitbit Charge 6 brings a physical button and improved health sensors for $159. Here's what you need to know for those of you that are Fitbit enthusiasts. Fitbit has launched a Charge 6 fitness tracker with enhanced sensors capable of producing 60% more accurate heart rate readings. The Charge 6 has been given a physical navigation button so users can quickly hop back to their home screen. The tracker said offers 7-day battery life, and consumers can pick up the Charge 6 for $159. So I see a lot of people wearing Fitbits now, more than I used to be honest with you. There's a great tool out there to help you analyze the real estate market. It's just $40. It's called Mashvisor. It pulls up to-date data with resources from Zillow, MLS, Rentometer, Airbnb, and the U.S. Census Bureau to give you the most accurate current real estate market data. All the data is stored and analyzed using an AI and machine learning, turning raw data into actual analytics for you and your business. Mashvisor offers comprehensive coverage for 95% of the U.S. market, both large and small. All you have to do is search, and you can find the best long-term and short-term rentals. So you can get it right now for just $39.99. It's this must be, it's regular $899. Now this is a PC World link, so it might be a PC World affiliate deal, but that's an interesting price for anyone that's in the real estate business or thinking about moving or buying. Super Harvest Full Moon today and tomorrow, so keep an eye out. It's pretty much prominent all over the East Coast, so keep a lookout. If skies are clear in your area, there's not very much clear area here. It's clear area here. It's pretty gray. Google is rushing to patch a new zero-day exploited by spyware vendor. The vulnerability is tracked to CVE-2023-5217, and the latest update patches 10 vulnerabilities, 3 of which have been highlighted by the company in its advisory. Google warns that this has been exploited in the wild. While the advisory does not provide information on the attack exploiting the 0-day, it's apparently been leveraged by a commercial surveillance vendor. The news comes shortly after Google, TAG, and the University of Toronto Citizen Lab Group released details on an operation whose goal was to deliver a piece of spyware known as Predator to an opposition politician in Egypt. Analysis showed that the threat actor had to use various 0 days and man-in-the-middle attacks to deliver spyware. So make sure you're updating your phones on a regular basis. GameStop billionaire backer Cohen replaced ousted CEO. So they appointed hedge fund billionaire Ryan Cohen as his new chief executive officer, filling the leadership void at the video game retail giant after losing its second CEO in 3 years. So the company's share rose about 9% pre-market trading before New York Exchange opened on Thursday. Cohen, a founder of an online pet food retailer Chewy, acquired a stake in the company in 2020, and he's overseen a number of executive shakeups. So again, in the news, of course, you remember GameStop stock was run up some time ago. Now, this is interesting. A judge gave permission for Sam Bankman-Fried's lawyers to give him a suit, ties, and appropriate undergarments to wear at his trial. The former billionaire typically wore t-shirts and shorts while in charge of crypto. No longer has access to his own clothes. Now behind bars, his lawyer submitted a proposal on Tuesday, which allowed him to wear business attire. It said that it would give Bankman-Fried 4 dress shirts, 3 ties, 1 belt, 4 pairs of socks, 2 pairs of shoes, and appropriate undergarments. Exactly what that means is not clear. Underwear and t-shirts, I'm sure. And I guess he's getting ready to go to court. So we'll see. When does this court stuff start? I didn't know that he had his bail revoked. So that's interesting. All right. Well, anyway, he's going to have something good to wear to his trial, and where he's going to, go on trial for ripping people off. Tubi, T-U-B-I, taps ChatGPT to make finding great free movies and shows easier. Fox's ad-supported streamer is going to use ChatGPT to change the way you navigate its service. Speaking to the Hollywood Reporter, senior product director says that at Tubi, we're uniquely situated to find content for viewers that's specific to the moment they're in because our large library and personalization machine learning algorithms with Rabbit AI, we're making the content discovery fun again, quote unquote. So we'll see when this comes out. Any of you use Tubi? I'm not even familiar with it. VPN maker Nord Security nets $100 million in funding. So I've been using Nord for years. Nord Security has announced $100 million in financing. They said the funding round was led by global growth investor Warburg Pincus, with notable participation from Novator Ventures and Bruda Principles. The investment will be used to expand Nord Security's product offering and accelerate growth. So this doubles their evaluation. Now, they initially raised $100 million in 2022. In what was described as the first ever external investment round, the company's valuation is then set at $1.6 billion, and now has more than doubled to around $3 billion following the new financing round. So the question is, are they making money? I remember getting a lifetime version of Nord, which they at some point took away, which was horrible. But anyway, I still use it. For first time, scientists have wrote words in liquid. What? For first time, scientists write words in liquid water. In a new study published in the Journal of Nanomicrosmall, Bino Lichben and colleagues at the Technical University of Darmstadt and Johannes Gutenberg University in Germany have developed a method to create long-lasting writing inside of a liquid. The water writing relies on a chemical process and spontaneous movement of different types of particle caused by difference in concentration within a liquid mixture. So, okay, I don't know what the use of this is going to be for, but scientists are always looking for weird things to come up with. Maybe this is something to do with liquid paper, or who knows? I don't know. SpaceX going to launch the NASA Psyche asteroid mission just a week from now. The liftoff of the 8th for SpaceX Falcon Heavy is scheduled for October 5th. So that's always a fun one. The Heavy is a fun launch to watch. Usually they do not recover the boosters because they just can't get them back. So, so if there's a government shutdown, though, they may have to delay. NASA will likely seek a waiver to proceed with the launch, citing it as an essential operation, but those no guarantees. So just be aware, you may not get any money if you are a retiree or something like that. If government shuts down, checks could be delayed. A radio telescope will launch to moon's far side in 2025 to hunt for the cosmic dark ages. The radio astronomy experiment Lucy will test technologies for radio telescopes on the far side of the moon. A small mission to test technology to detect radios from the cosmic dark ages over 13.4 billion years ago will blast off in 2025. It's called the Lunar Surface Electromagnetic Experiment Night Mission. And again, it's a small radio telescope. Is it going to land? Yeah, it'll actually sit on the moon. Will it? It's on the dark side. How are they going to power it? If you're on the far side of the moon, you have a pristine radio quiet. I guess it's light over there. I'm thinking about it. For which you can try to detect this signal from the dark ages. Okay, so it will blast off, which is located, the Schrodinger Basin. It will operate in daylight, but it will test technologies such as antennas, batteries, see if they can function efficiently in the freezing cold conditions of the lunar night. So, okay, well, we'll see. We'll see what happens in 2025. If you are near LaGuardia Airport, the Arthur Ashe Stadium, well, those two locations are sinking. They have been cited as a sinking hotspot in New York City. This was kind of known already. That's why the stadium has the roof that it has. But anyway, be aware of that. Yeah, those two areas are sinking. How quickly? No one knows. iPhone 15 owners complain about overheating problem. So the new Apple iPhone 15 Pro may be too hot to handle. Apple's new iPhone are heating up some scenarios, reaching high temperatures and make them difficult to touch at certain times. The Wall Street Journal and social media posts from buyers in China and the U.S. Some have noticed similar hot temperatures over the high temperatures in Apple's newest iPhone 15, typically when charging and using intensive apps, are promoting concerns that the company might need to address overheating. So what was he doing? He says someone that bought one, 23-year-old. He said it was so warm it was difficult to hold. Someone at the Wall Street Journal noted that her phone hit 106 degrees while charging, and the phone reached up to 112 degrees while simultaneously charging and doing processor-intensive tasks such as gaming. I don't game on my phone at all, so this is probably not an issue. SpaceX has inked its first Space Force deal for government-focused Starshield satellite network. So SpaceX describes Starshield as a secured satellite network for government entities offered alongside a civilian-focused Starlink satellite internet service. Bloomberg notes that Starshield services will be provided over SpaceX existing Starlink antennas. The existence of the one-year contract was confirmed. Who said it was awarded on September 1st. Under the deal, SpaceX will provide Starshield end-to-end services via Starlink constellation using terminals, answer equipment, network management, and other related services. The contract is a $70 million ceiling, with $15 million being obligated to the company by the end of this month. So, data. This whole Starlink thing changes the whole data game completely for the military. Check this out. European castles, private chefs, and a startup school are causing families to ditch the United States and live the American dream abroad. So Shirley and Eretz Weinstein had in many ways achieved the American dream. They immigrated to the United States from Israel and early bought a house in the suburbs of Atlanta with access to high-quality schools. Her life was really busy. They also weren't satisfied with the education options for the kids. We wanted something more from school. So they tried Montessori charter public, but all these different options felt more like the same. Kids felt similar. Life was boring. So to shake things up, they sold most of their stuff, bought an RV, and started traveling around the U.S., but they finally have decided to move to the U.K. So it's a pretty extensive story about different families that are living abroad in a variety of different ways. And we know this. We know there's a lot of digital nomads out there. Considered it myself. The 3-row Kia EV9 SUV will cost $54,900 on sale later this year. Production of the big EV will move to West Point, Georgia in 2024. So this next electric vehicle, as it gets closer to release toward the end of this year, a 3-row SUV, the company also used, a 3-row SUV that the company's eGMP architecture also used a good effect in smaller EVs like the Kia EV6 and Hyundai Ioniq 5. When the EV9 arrives at showroom, the range will start at $54,900. That's still a lot of money. They haven't released any type of specs on it and how far it will go. Best Buy is expanding its affordable Xumo TV lineup with Pioneer branded models. Like the Hisense Xumo TVs, the Pioneer models will be loaded with the Xumo TV software that access both a smart TV platform with support for a variety of apps as well as the TV's default streaming service, Xumo Play. Later is a free ad-supported streaming TV service with hundreds of ad-supported linear channels. So, but it's going to be priced at about from $270 to $500 and 43 to 65 inches. How many of you played Nerf ball? You know, you've seen Nerf guns, right? Well, Nerf ball introduces Nerf's smartest foam yet. It detects dart impacts. So you can shoot a Nerf dart and it will register that if it actually hits someone. Not too hard to hit someone with a Nerf gun. When we had our offices in Columbus, for some reason, someone bought a whole bunch of Nerf guns. And matter of fact, when we closed, I think someone walked out with a basket of Nerf darts and Nerf guns. I didn't want them. But anyway, the Nerf brand is again launching its first ever official sport, a game called Nerf Ball, and it comes with its own high-tech phone. So 12 college athletes played this game. It's on YouTube. Link will be up in the show notes on how it's laid out. So I'm sure there'll be a whole industry with this coming out at some point. Probably a lot better than using paintballs. So this is a little political, this next article. According to The Verge, so I get real leery when anytime a outlet like The Verge talks about the GOP, because The Verge is pretty liberal. But apparently they said that last night, former president and current Republican forerunner Donald Trump appeared before a crowd in suburban Detroit, tried to out his new attack lines. He says EVs are too expensive. They don't have enough range and will spur American job loss. EV batteries were another target. They get rid of them. And lots of bad things happen. And when they're digging it out of the ground to make those batteries, it's going to be very bad for the environment. I could hear him just saying that like that, I guess. But those trying to protect the environment, promoting EVs, well, he calls them environmental lunatics. His comments were a latest attempt to make electric vehicle a major wedge in issues in American politics. I think it already is, with this march toward everyone having to have an EV by, 2030 or some number like that. And, of course, the UAW continues to be on strike in Detroit. It's been going on for 2 weeks here. And the unions are going to lose jobs. They already know that when the EVs come on, there's less parts. There's going to be, they say there could be as much as 50% downsizing of jobs in the automotive industry, largely because, don't have to make engines no more. There's a whole bunch of stuff you don't have to make because the electric cars are a lot easier, less complicated. So, except, they're not even though they're less complicated, they're not less expensive. So that's going to cost, workers if they don't need all these people. So we'll see. SpaceX moves Falcon 9 launch to Friday evening. Liftoff is scheduled for 6:39 for another round of Starlink antennas. This is just a regular thing now. Record-breaking astronaut Frank Rubio is finally home after a year in orbit. He did a 371 days on the International Space Station, the longest any American has been aloft. So he has arrived back at his home in Houston. So glad that they're back and safe and all the things that go along with that. Disney's password sharing crackdown is now a reality. Disney's crackdown password sharing will begin in Canada on November 1st. The company sent an email to the streaming services of Canadian subscribers. And of course, last month, Disney announced the plans to introduce a password sharing crackdown following in Netflix footsteps. And this is going to happen initially in Canada. And I'm sure to get a test of what happens and then probably on to America next. Ex-CEO says the platform could turn a profit next year and that most top advertisers have returned in the past 12 weeks. She added that 90% of platform's top 100 advertisers returned. And so that's good that they could turn a profit next year after losing $1.1 billion in 2020. So time will tell. But I heard something about Twitter today. I heard that they're downplaying anytime you put a link in a Twitter post, it's not surfacing. And if that's the case, that's really going to piss me off. I'm going to have to complain. I use Twitter to promote my site, my content. And if I can't link to it and they hide stuff that's has links in it, it's really, really bad. But I heard if you have organized list, you can still see the links. So it might be time to look at that feature a little bit more. Google Pixel 8 event, October 4th. So right around the corner here. We know that this is going to go on. Lots of details in a post here from techradar.com. I have a link up in the show notes for you to check it out. This government shutdown is going to bench up to 80% of the CISA staff. So that's a cyber security infrastructure security agency. So they have 3,117 employees. Only 571 remain during a lapse in appropriations. That means more than 80% of its workers would be furloughed. So we'll see. We'll see if they get this through. I know they're working on it. So it always happens. Palantir secures a $250 million contract with the U.S. Army for AI services. So that's a nice boost to their business. So it's a 3-year research and development partnership, and it's a long-term commitment for the Army. Meanwhile, Epic Games cuts around 830 jobs. That's 16% of its workforce. In a statement, Epic has confirmed the layoffs will impact 830 employees. He wrote the company intends to sell Bandcamp, an independent music storefront company. Epic acquired last year to music licensing platform Song to Radar and spin-off Super Awesome, a kid tech company that specializes in creating safe online experiences for kids. Notably, he does not apologize to employees for making the business decisions that resulted in the disruption of 830 people. These rumors were expected, and they implement layoffs this year, so this is not a surprise. But what else? So 830 people. Economy keeps on hitting. The Raspberry Pi 5 is finally here. I heard some people were complaining about it. I don't know why. It's been 4 years since the launch of the Raspberry Pi 4. The Raspberry Pi 5 has arrived with a performance boost and in-house silicon that adds support for PCIe 2. It has a $60 starting price. Not only is it supposed to perform better than its predecessor, but it's the first Raspberry to come with its own in-house silicon. Powering the brain, the Raspberry Pi 5 is a 64-bit quad-core ARM Cortex-A76 processor that runs at 2.4 gigahertz. The device also comes with an 800 megahertz Video Core 7 graphics chip. I'm sure we're going to see some. I'm running a single Raspberry Pi to run my Umbro node. So it will come out with different RAM options The $60 will have 4 gigs. The $80 for 8 gigs. That makes it slightly more expensive than the Pi 4, which is priced at $55 for 4 gigs, $75 for 8. And the Pi 5 will be available to purchase before the end of October. NVIDIA's French offices were rated in a cloud computing competition inquiry. See, NVIDIA is rocking it in a big, big way. And when NVIDIA just is running circles around people, the French can't handle it. The French Competition Authority disclosed the dawn raid, and it doesn't say who was targeted, but everyone says it was NVIDIA. Typically, such raids are hour-long exercise, which officials turn up early in the morning, search a company's premises, seize physical and digital materials, and interview employees who arrive for work. So, yeah, again, it's all about AI. NVIDIA's rocking things. So the French don't like companies competing. Google adds a switch for publishing to opt out of becoming an AI training data. Now the Google extended flag in robots text can tell Google Crawler to include a site in search without using it to train new AI models. I want my site to be used to train AI models. I don't know why they wouldn't. I don't know why they, for me, it's important to be part of the model. It's very important for me to be part of the model. All right. Geeknews@gmail.com. Geeknews@gmail.com is the email address. If you have comments on today's show, @GeekNews is the location on X. Of course, if they're, where are we going to, of course, Mastodon. This is where, I'm telling you, folks, come on over to geeknews.chat. Get on my Mastodon server. You're a listener of the show. Just tell me you're a listener, because I approve every account, because I can't have 1,000 people just signing up for the account, because it's not a huge instance. It can't support tens of thousands of people, but it can support everyone that listens to this show. All right. Anyone that wants to get on Mastodon that isn't already, fire up your browser, go over to geeknews.chat, create an account, let me know. geeknews@gmail.com. Let's go to the Fediverse. And if you're not using one of those newfangled podcasting apps, please consider using one. We definitely appreciate that you're giving it a try and doing something like that. So we got lots going on here. And I want you to participate. It's really, it's a great time to be along for the ride and this upcoming, what's going on with podcasting right now. And I'm going to look at the boostergrams and see if anything came in. A lot of stuff came in for the new media show. And some of you are streaming sats too, so those continue to come in. We definitely appreciate when you stream sats to the show. That's greatly appreciated. And I'm looking at the dashboard and see what do we have for. Of course, it's loading a little slow tonight for some reason. What is the number of people? We've got 62 of you that are using a new podcast app at podcastapps.com. Let's get that number up. Definitely appreciate you listening to the show, because I know you're streaming sats to the show. I can see it. So anyway, get out of here. We'll be back with you on Monday for another edition. Of course, Saturday is the Podcast Awards, so right here in the studio. So if you want to watch, 6 p.m. Eastern, we'll be live at podcastawards.com. Hey, everyone, thank you so much for being here. Thanks for being, again, part of the family of listeners. I appreciate when you're here. And if you've been watching the show at all live today, a few of you have. I see that on YouTube and also on Facebook. Thank you so much. And stay safe out there. Be careful. Take care of one another.